And recently we did a live stream pre Sam Altman, all of those things that happened, being let go, then returning, then not returning, then returning. And you in that live stream called that OpenAI is not going to make it. And so I
Yeah, and
would
then I got yelled at by my friends at OpenAI for like, why are you kicking us down when we're down? I'm like, wait, I said that before you were down. It's not my fault.
exactly. So, but I
I
would,
felt bad.
well, I think it seems like what happens on Twitter doesn't stay on Twitter anymore. But I do think it seems like fair game to with something seemingly as important as OpenAI, something that markets itself. I'm a huge fan of ChatGPT, as you know, but something that markets itself as the most important thing in humanity currently. I
Hmm,
think it makes itself a fair target for all types of conversations.
hmm.
So in the past 2 weeks since we last spoke live, a lot has happened. So I'm wondering if you could give us your thoughts on what happened at OpenAI and what you now think about the future of OpenAI.
Yeah, is that all?
Yeah.
Um, so as you might remember, what I was talking about last time was that OpenAI, which was originally meant to be this great hope of creating societally beneficial artificial general intelligence, whose mission was set in stone, backed up by the power of it, you know, non-profit ownership, an independent board, and a clear charter. And I said, I don't think it's going to hold
Mm,
because in the end, Microsoft's given them shitloads of money and they've promised their staff that they're each going to get shitloads of money when Thrive Capital comes in and puts even more shitloads of money in. So they've got these PPIs, profit participation somethings, which is kind of like options, where staff at OpenAI get dollars in their pocket if the profit arm of OpenAI is successful. So the idea that this highfalutin corporate governance structure was going to hold, that they would really stick to focusing on societally beneficial AGI seemed pretty unlikely to me. But I've got to say, I was very surprised when the very next day the non-profit board actually exercised their power and they said, you know what, we are not on the path to achieving societally beneficial AGI under this CEO, so we're going to let him go. Which is not only is that their right, that's the basically the only job a board has, the only power they have. They've got a mission. For a normal company, that mission is make as much money as possible. For a non-profit, that mission is do what the charter says we're meant to do. And the board basically doesn't do anything else. Their job is to be like, okay, is this CEO the right one to achieve that mission? If so, we will approve paying them, and if not, we'll let them go and find somebody who can do a better. We think can do a better job. Anyway, doesn't work out that way because in order to achieve your mission, um, you need resources, you need money, you need people working for you, you need computers, etc. So the people said, uh, screw you,
mm,
we are more interested in our CEO's vision for the company than the non-profits charter, which makes perfect sense because this was millions of dollars being removed from each of their pockets just 1 month
yeah.
before the secondary financing, or not, secondary investment was coming in. I think it's going to value at them at like 86 billion dollars. Um, so yeah, of course they're going to say no, thank you. Um, and so then Microsoft said, no worries. we'll we'll look after you guys. We'll hire the CEO, we'll hire the CTO, who was also the chairman of the board, and we'll hire all the staff. So yeah, it put the board in a bit of a tricky situation because they were kind of like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to achieve societally beneficial AGI without a CEO or a CTO or any staff. And depending on, we don't know, but depending on commercially how their agreement with Microsoft was structured, maybe the billions of dollars of compute they were going to get might disappear as well. Who knows? So one side would say like, okay, you better put Sam back in as CEO and undo your mistake. So at least, even if you don't think he's the ideal person to be doing this, at least he's doing something. Or on the other hand, if you think like, no, actually, we think he might achieve societally unbeneficial AGI, then the right move would not be to do that and let OpenAI collapse, because that would be a closer match to your nonprofit charter than not. So genuinely difficult decision, which, the hoi polloi on social media all thought was really obvious and easy decision, because that's, people don't think deeply. And I thought in the middle of all this is like, Jesus, these board members, if they're being paid anything, it's not much. They don't have any equity. Like, God, they must really believe in this mission to go through all this shit. Because I don't think I would just be like, fine, everybody, stakeholders, you brought us in to support this charter. Turns out the people who've been saying this OpenAI nonprofit charter is bullshit, turns out they were right. So fuck you all, we're leaving, you figure it out. But they didn't. I mean, they stuck it out. So they must care a whole lot, because whatever they're being paid, it's not worth the shit that they went through.
And they went on to restructure themselves as part of what happened, right?
Well, look, in the end, you can't blame them. The board members did say, or at least the two female board members, who coincidentally enough got the majority of the shit from the social media hoi polloi, they left the board. So yeah, fair enough. Why would you stay there? It's none of the stakeholders actually care about the thing they pretended to care about, and everybody's giving you shit for actually trying to do it. So yeah, they left, and there's a small board in place now who, as far as my understanding, is their sole job is basically to get a proper board. I think they're looking for like 9 people. But I don't see why it matters. I mean, clearly the power is not with the board, so it doesn't really matter who's on the board.